Hi, welcome to the galley, and we're making small batch strawberry jam today. Now just give it a dice. They don't all have to be perfect, but around the same size. It is going to get mashed in here and cooked down. Most strawberry jam recipes call for 1 cup of sugar per pound up to 1.5 cups per pound. Now this is the deal with making it without pectin. Strawberries have natural pectin in them, and that works with the sugar to make it thick. And you also have to kind of cook it down because it's not enough pectin. But this is how we do it without using pectin. Now, if you want to do honey or anything else like that, then you do have to use pectin and special pectins as well. But for this, we're going with sugar. Now, I used the Florida crystal sugar. It is just a beautiful product. It's minimally processed, so which is why it's not super white. It hasn't been bleached. It holds on to some of its molasses. They practice regenerative farming. It's just a really nice sugar. But I am going to take my sugar down a bit, and I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup per pound of strawberries. And then I want to let this sit. So I'm kind of doing this, and then I want to set up my canning process over here. You don't have to can this. You can just put this straight into the refrigerator, or you can put it into your freezer. But I'm going to can this today in some smallish jars for Billy and I. I like the small jars, so you're not opening a lot at one time. And I'll show you just how easy it is to actually can this and how simple it is to make your own strawberry jam in no time. So I'm going to let this sit for as long as I can, because that sugar is going to start wicking that moisture out of these strawberries and make this beautiful strawberry syrup in here. And that's going to help our strawberry taste even better. So you can see just how much liquid that made. And wouldn't this be good for some strawberry shortcake? Into my pot, and I'm going to bring this to a boil. And here are some add-ins for you. Now, you need some kind of acid in there. So you need a tablespoon of some kind of acid. And you can make that acid with lemon. Or for a twist up, you can do balsamic vinegar. So it's like a strawberry balsamic jam. And that's what I am choosing today. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of balsamic, or 2 if you want it. You know what? Let's go 2. I think that sounds good today. Another thing that you can add in is a little bit of vanilla. And I like a little bit of that too. So I'm going to do like a teaspoon of vanilla. Now we're going to bring this to a boil, stirring it frequently. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to reduce the heat and simmer it 10 to 20 minutes, let's say. Now I'm waiting for this to come to a boil. I did get my potato masher out because once it starts getting hot, and I can mash it. Again, you don't have to can, but if you want to, you can actually can these jars, these small jars in this pot, in a pot this size. You don't have to have a giant pot. You can have a pot this size. As long as the water sits 1 inch to 2 above them, I always try to go for 2 inches, then you're fine. And then I have this that I sit down in the bottom. So as long as your jars aren't touching the bottom of the pan, you're fine. And you don't want a thin aluminum pan. You want something with a heavy bottom. So while I'm waiting on this, I have this coming to a boil. I've got this heating up down here. I'm going to put my lids in, my rings in there. I always do an extra. And always a new box. These you can reuse and reuse. These are a one-time gig only. Now, if you're interested in doing the strawberry jam with an alternative sugar, this is the pectin that you want to use. This is all natural. There's no dextrose. There's no anything crazy in it. But for this, you can use honey, maple syrup, any date sugar, whatever is your sugar of choice. That's not actually sugar, but this one I highly recommend. So it just came to a boil. I've reduced the heat, and we're just going to keep this nice simmer like this. I'm going to use my potato masher Mash it around, keep an eye on it so you can see how it's gotten so much thicker. Now, I will say this took about 25 minutes, and just the more sugar you add, the less time it takes, kind of thing. So I'm okay with the extra time and the less sugar. So we'll do our little test here and see if it stays separated. Oh, it wanted to. I'm going to eat this, though. It's really good. See how it's starting to? So we're just so close. So we're just that super close that I'm going to get myself ready. I'm going to get my jars out of here. I'm going to crank this heat up so this comes back to a boil. So now you see how it's staying separated? That's what we want. So we're going to fill our jars up here. And we're going to leave a 1/4 inch headspace. So if you're not canning, again, let it come to room temperature and freezer or refrigerator. But if you are canning, I got a little bit of vinegar here, and I'm just wiping the rims just to make sure they're clean, because you know, if there's any kind of jam or anything on there, they won't seal right. This can have a little bit more in there. So I like to throw my rings and my flats in some nice hot water over here. It helps soften up the rubber part so it seals better, and it just makes me feel like they're nice and clean and sterilized. So your rings, just finger tight. You don't want to tighten this down really hard. And then we're going to go into our big pot over here, and we're going to crash things. Now, you just want to sit this down. Again, you want to make sure that there's at least 1 inch of water above it. I always have my tea kettle with hot water in case I need to add some water. I'm not adding cold water, it's already hot. Now, as soon as you come to a boil, which we are, you'll put your lid on it. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. If you had a big jar, you do it about 15 minutes. So there goes our timer. So I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to remove the lid. And now I'm going to wait 5 minutes. Did you hear that pop? Sometimes they pop, sometimes they don't. I like to hear the pop because I know that it's sealed. But you want to sit these someplace where they can just sit undisturbed for like 24 hours. Now, I don't have enough counter space here in the galley, so I just do mine on a tray with a dish towel. That one already popped. That way I can move it, and I can go sit it like up in the pilot house or someplace where it can just sit and be by itself and cool down. And in 24 hours, you can take the rings off. I just kind of test, you know, you can push it up and down to see how it feels. I just take the ring off, and if I can hold it, there's another pop. We got 3 good pops. So it's just that simple to make your own. Look at that. 3 jars of, in this case, strawberry balsamic. Been doing dishes. Can you see that I'm wet? And so, you know what? When strawberries start coming in, experiment with it. If you do, let me know. Again, you don't have to can it. That's just how easy. That's just how easy it is. You don't have to have special equipment. Just a few simple things, and you can can your own strawberry jam. Thank y'all. Thanks for being here. And yay, strawberry season. I love strawberry season. Bye, y'all. See you later.